Good evening and welcome to the Marsh Stream, your solo performance broadcasting platform. I'm Kristen Shiel for the Marsh, and I'd like to welcome you to a special episode of Tell It on Tuesday with your hosts, Bridget Frederick and Rebecca Fisher. The Marsh brings you free programming every night of the week. Please support our performers and live theater by contributing to our Marsh tip jar, which will be linked to the chat throughout the evening. We'd like to welcome our YouTube viewers as well, and if you haven't already, please become a subscriber of our channel, The Marsh Stream, to be notified of shows as they go live. We're so grateful that you chose to be with us this evening, and we hope that you'll please consider becoming a sustaining member of The Marsh. All this and more can be found on our website at themarsh.org. Now, please welcome your hosts for Tell It on Tuesday.
Hi, thank you so much for that warm welcome. And we're so grateful that the Marsh is doing this through this whole coronavirus experience. And we never thought we would be doing this. I remember we canceled our March performance and then we were like, let's try this Zoom thing for the Marsh Stream for April. And here we are, we're doing it. We're starting off the new year and it's gotten to be quite an enjoyable thing for us to host. And we're very grateful that the Marsh is keeping us alive and that we get to still hold these stories and celebrate them and bring them to you. So me and Bridget have been doing this now for over 15 years. So Bridget can tell us about who's going to perform for us for our first performer tonight.
All right, so up first we have Carol Steele, and she has been working on a piece with Charlie Barron. Carol Steele has a resume that reads like a who's who of popular music. A renowned percussionist with a career spanning 30 years, she's performed or recorded with Peter Gabriel, Steve Winwood, Joan Baez, Tears for Fears, Diana Ross, Mongo Santamaria, and many other well-known artists. She started going to Cuba in 1987, where she was the first woman to play with Los Muñequitos de Matanzas, one of Cuba's iconic folklore groups, and she calls Cuba as her spiritual home. She brings the depth of all these experiences to her solo performing, which is definitely true. I actually don't have her title here, Rebecca.
Site.
A different drummer.
There we go. Carol's chiming in there. Different drummer.
Carol Steele.
Thanks,
performing A Different Drummer.
Let's welcome Carol.
Yay!
As I get off the plane, I'm struck by the buzz in the air. It was late at night, yet here I am in the city that never sleeps. A wave of, girl, you're not in San Francisco anymore, swept over me. While waiting for my luggage, this disheveled man with almost every other tooth missing, reeking of alcohol, approaches me. Hey man, you Carol? How in the hell does this guy know my name? Yeah. Yeah, Mongo sending me to pick you up, okay? His alcohol breath is so strong, it feels like it could give me a perm. Can you imagine how alcohol breathy that was to feel like that? What the fuck have I done? This is supposed to be the beginning of my big career move to New York. Maybe this will end up being a story that I can tell one day. Driving from Kennedy to the Upper West Side, Ralphie, who I learned was the utilero, the roadie, was talking incessantly about the band, touring, talking, like he was Mongo's manager or something. I had to crack the window to have some breathable air blowing in my face. Looking at the approaching New York skyline, I thought about how I got to this place. Actually, I answered an ad in the San Francisco Chronicle. Percussionist needed for band Black Magic. The leader, Roger Saunders, who saw himself as a kind of Jimi Hendrix kind of guy. Me, I saw him as kind of a black Grinch that stole Christmas kind of guy. Yeah, Carol, I'm gonna need you to sing as well as play. But Roger, This shit is hard. I can't. Oh, it's the gig, man. It's the gig, Carol. Take it or leave it. Makes no difference to me. I took the gig, and we had lots of them. I really had a love-hate relationship with him, and though I hate to admit it, he was right about that singing and playing thing. And then there was the night at Caesar's, and I went to see Mongo Santamaria. Walking down the steep and narrow staircase into the club, the sound of glasses clinking, the smoke-filled room, the buzz of excitement was electrifying. The place was packed. Searching the room while descending, I zeroed in at the bar. Mongo Santamaria, the man himself, was standing there alone at the bar. The man whose records I've been practicing to. This is it, I'm going in. Hi, Mongo. I wanted to introduce myself to you. My name is Carol Steele, and I'm a conguera. I'd like to sit in with you, and I'd like to play the song Ogan Kuku and show you what I can do. ¿Cómo? What's the matter with you? You crazy something? No, I can really play. I'd like to play Ogan Kuku and take the solo so you can see what I can do. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let you come up on the stage and make a fool out of yourself, okay? Thanks, Mongo. Boom, I was in. I ordered a drink and I hung there at the bar. And while watching the band, I was thinking to myself, this is definitely a defining moment in my life. Exactly how? Who knows? Y ahora we're gonna present it to you, La Rubia que toca la conga, the blonde girl that plays the congas. That's me. I excitedly make my way through the tables to the stage, passing people looking at me like, who the hell is this chick? I got up there, got comfortable. Y uno, dos, 1, 2, 3, 4. Dan, 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 gurung, giging, dan, 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 gurung, giging, da, 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 dun, dun, dun. I'm playing with Mongo Santamaria. Brakata, 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 kokoto, kokoto. I'm playing with Mongo Santamaria. Once he realized I had it under control, he grabbed the bongo and he sat next to me, playing alongside of me. The crowd went crazy. La rubia que toca la congas. Amidst the cheers and the pats on the back, the hugs and kisses, Mongo makes his way over to me. Mira, you're gonna play with me mañana, and then you're gonna come to Los Angeles and play with me at concerts by the sea. You're gonna stay with me and my wife at our house. Girl, you got yourself a gig. Playing with him in LA, meeting tons of people, tons of great musicians, I actually remember thinking, I'm so on my destiny. Some people wait all of their lives to make it. And I've only been playing 4 years and I've made it. I'm playing with the king of the conga drums himself, El Rey. So months later, when he called me and told me that he wanted me to come to New York, that he was gonna send me a ticket and I was gonna play with his band. And then I was gonna have my own band produced by him. And well, can you imagine? Hey, Daddy, I'm going to New York. Yeah, I'm going to New York. I'm gonna play with Mongo Santamaria. Baby, is that like Tito Fuentes? Better. He's the king of the congas, and he's sending me a ticket to New York, and I'm going. This is what I've been waiting for, Daddy. I'm going to New York. Are you sure about this, baby? Is this guy legit? And off I went with my hopes and dreams packed up with my conga drums. And now here I am in Mongo's building, holding my breath in the elevator with Ralphie. Thankfully, the elevator doors open. What's that smell? Oh, is it perfume? The source is confirmed as Mongo opens the door and the smell pours out of the apartment, competing heavily for my nausea, mixing with the smell of alcohol coming from Ralphie's pores. Mongo's cologne. Mongo seemed a little too dressed up in his 70s brown swirly patterned big lapelled shirt tucked into some polyester dress pants. Not exactly casual homewear. Ralphie said his goodbyes. And Mongo, hey, Carolina, you make it. Eso es mi casa, entra. Said goodbye to Ralphie and toured the apartment. Carolina, aquí es la cocina, the kitchen. Aquí is the music room. Y aquí, mi cuarto. I stood at the threshold and I took it in. Red satin bedspread, red satin pillow covers, red satin covered headboard, red satin curtains. Mongo, where am I gonna sleep? I sended you the ticket. I bringing you out of here. You gonna sleep with me. What? When you invited me out here and you said that I was going to be staying with you, I thought it was going to be like LA, staying with you and your wife. No, ella. She my LA wife. She don't live here with me. I bringing you out of here to be in my band, and you gonna sleep with me. Listen, Mongo, I think you made a big mistake here. When did I ever give you the idea that I was sexually interested in you? I'm not gonna sleep with you. If you didn't bring me out here because of the way I play, and I'm not good enough, send me home. I think I make a bigger mistake with you. I think you did too, Mongo. I made a bed on the little sofa in the entryway that night because the big sofa was too close to his room. Tossing and turning all night and trying to figure out what I was going to do. The next day, Ralphie shows up to take me to stay with Mongo's manager, a woman that reluctantly took me in on a temporary basis. Mongo actually did keep his promise for a while. I played some gigs with him in New York. I went on the road to Chicago and played at the world famous London House. Once we started gigging, I moved into the bass player's messy boys club apartment and fashioned a teeny bedroom in the pantry. Hey, I was paying my dues to be a professional musician in New York City. Dirty dishes, roaches, and all. I was a feature in the Mongo Santamaria review. I would come out and play my number right after Toko, the folkloric singer and dancer from South Africa. Mongo could be a little moody, and if he was in a good mood with me, my introduction was, y ahora, la rubia que toca la conga, Caro Steele. And if he was in a bad mood, he would say, y ahora, we go from deepest, darkest Africa to our representative from white America, Caro Steele. And after that introduction, I would slink my way onto the stage, but I still played. Then one night, I made a huge mistake. I slept with one of the musicians back at the hotel. And one of the other musicians called Mongo and told him. Now, I had no idea about any of this. I thought I had everything under control. Mongo didn't say anything to me about it until when we got back to New York, my phone rang. Hello? Hey, Carolina, I'm calling you to tell you, you fired. You fired. But Mongo, why? You know I knew why. I find out that you fucking somebody else in the band and you know fucking me. You fired. But Mongo, what am I supposed to do now? This is not my problem. Cuando me and Armando Barraza came to this country, we used to paint houses. Maybe you can paint houses. You fired.
Looks like a jam.
A little, yeah. Can that?
What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I absolutely don't want to call my dad and admit defeat. I've been carrying this little scrap of paper around with me for the past 2 years. Flora, it's me, Carol from San Francisco. You're not gonna believe what happened. And then he fired me. The woman I called was Flora Purim, the great Brazilian jazz singer who immediately came in a taxi and took me in. Listen, my little sister, I know you're gonna be just fine. You can stay here as long as you need to, girl. You're a musician and you have to stay in New York. Flora's kindness and faith in me filled me with a sense of possibility. And I stayed there long enough to see and hear some of New York's finest musicians, but also to learn that I still had a lot more to learn. So after about a year, I decided to go back to San Francisco, study more, and get my battle plan together so that I could come back to New York on my terms and then really take the town by storm. Thank you.
Oh, that was so great. Yay. Woo, you can hear the clapping. Woo. That was fabulous. Yes, Carol, yes. All right, thank you so much.
Bravo,
Yeah.
bravo.
I am
Gracias,
Irina.
Carolina. ¿Qué tal?
Show the picture.
Beautiful. All right. So
Carla,
now
Carolina.
we're
Carol, ¿a
gonna
dónde aprendiste el español?
All right, thank you, everyone. We're going to move on to our second performer. That was fabulous, Carol. Jeanne Haynes, who's been performing with us for since we've been around, that first year, that first summer or fall that we did it. So we're so happy to have her always be here. And it's her first virtual performance. So, and she's referred a lot of performers. And then I asked her, do you have anyone to suggest? And she was like, me. And I was like, great. So anyway, Jeanne Haynes is thrilled to return to Tell It on Tuesday as a storyteller instructor at Stage Bridge for 20 years. She has also enjoyed coaching many storytellers who have taken their stories to the Tell It on Tuesday stage. The piece she is performing tonight was developed in a class taught by David Ford. It is centered on the complex confounding time this year with COVID has been for her and Fancy, her sweet dog. And then she has her website on her, jeannehaynes.com. And her piece is called Aging Transitions in the Time of COVID with a Dog Named Fancy. All right, time for Jeanne.
Welcome to my kitchen, where I will read my story with the aid of these new fandangled blue screened computer glasses. They're not supposed to glare, but they do. So if it really bothers you, loves, just look away and pretend that I'm on the radio. Hey, Fancy, we're going to move. I found us a new place in a senior living community called Pacifica, Oakland Heights. Not in one of the buildings, no, but in a cute independent cottage. And they accept dogs, even large, ancient, old dogs like you, my beautiful Labradoodle. In stature, Fancy looks like her standard poodle dad, but influenced by her mom, the Labrador, her curls are relaxed and feel like down. Allie's coming tomorrow to make some of her artistic measurement drawings. Fancy cocks her head in recognition. Yes, my adult daughter who still gets down on the floor to play with you. At the cottage, Allie declares, Mom, the universe was really looking out for you. This place is exactly what you wanted. A vintage cottage, a little porch, a bit of land to garden, and your very own washer and dryer. In 11 frantic weeks, I downsize, prep, show, and sell my beloved home. Moving day is an extended family affair, but still with way too much stuff. In tears, I stand in the small living room until when my daughter-in-law says, come back in 10 minutes. I do. A sweet space. The grandfather clock, Daddy's desk, the TV, wingback chairs, all looking like they've lived here forever. Fancy and I are just beginning to adjust and make new friends when the pandemic hits. Pacifica orders a lockdown. No residents going out, no visitors coming in. The imposing iron gate at the street entrance stay closed. You need a code or an acceptable reason to be buzzed in. Everyone wonders, how long will this last? Predictions are a few months. Okay, so this is March, April, May, June, July, August. Spring and summer, long and lonely and hot. Wildfires burning out of control and smoke so bad you can't even open your windows. But then a breath of fresh air called Zoom. My son William sets up our first contact. Can't see you, Mom. Unmute. No, that's the video. I finally get it right. And he smiles that dynamite smile, steps aside. And, there's my gorgeous 12-year-old granddaughter, my Quintessa. Avery. Oh, it's so good to see you. It's been months. How are you, my love? Her 10-year-old brother, Lucian, paces impatiently, flashing grins and making rabbit ears behind her head. She chatters on about homeschooling and, oh, I miss my friends and soccer and even grocery shopping, which I used to hate. But Randy, I'm writing a book. Can I read it to you? Oh, please do, love. It's going to be 13 chapters, but I only have 8 done so far. And then I listened to this child who I got to watch being born, who soon rode with the band in the rocking horse I'd made over for her. And just the other day, jumping out of swings, swung out where she fell to the ground. And now here she is, reading an intriguing mystery story with a detailed plot, dialogue. I am transfixed until she says, well, that's as far as I got. Avery, this is exceptional. Who else have you shared this with? Just you. Hey, Grandy, will you help me with my writing? Oh, yes. Meanwhile, every day I pass my CRV Honda waiting faithfully in the parking lot out front. My 2001 black Jeep with its sassy wheel on the back. She needs a bath. More importantly, Jimmy at Precision Auto tells me she needs new tires and probably more when you finally get her in here. Geez, Jeannie, that's a 19-year-old car. I know. Her insurance costs me $175 a month, and it's another $50 to park here. And I really don't like driving anymore, especially since that freeway accident last year. And if I can't go out for a few months anyway, hey, let me sell it for you. That'll give you money for Lyft rides. I'll take care of all the paperwork. My guys can come pick it up tomorrow. Such a deal. How can I refuse? At the car, I flip up the back seat. It always stays down, covered with a blue plaid wool blanket, a perfect space for Fancy to stretch out her long legs. Gee, how she loved to get into this car and go with me anywhere. The grocery store, the gas station. But there was always a chance we'd go up Skyline Boulevard to the trails for a run in the woods. All those good smells, her long ears flopping in the breeze. I take out the blanket, a favorite chew toy, some other stuff, and head back to the cottage to talk it over with Fancy. Jimmy's guys come the next day. I put on my mask, the new norm now, and go out to the car. One fellow greets me, "Whoa, lady, this car is a classic and clean." I hand him my cell phone to take a keepsake photo, and then feigning an upbeat position, I drape my arm over the tire on the back. Click, they jump in. The accelerator turns over. I know that sound. That's my car. But they're on their way out, and I wave as the iron gates close behind them. Good God, I just waved goodbye to freedom. My walk isn't steady as I go into the main building to pick up my mail. A few feet away from the reception desk, I see an elderly woman, probably my age. She's in a wheelchair, pulled up close as possible to the window. On the other side, a young couple on the deck sit as close as they can to the window, eating cheeseburgers and sharing a paper container of French fries smothered in ketchup. The woman gingerly sips a milkshake. Her snow-white curls have been carefully coiffed. She's dressed for the occasion. A lovely, looks like new, plum-colored robe with a white ruffled collar. Mom, you look wonderful. But she doesn't. I mean, I know she's dressed beautifully, but she's hella thin. And somebody put way too much makeup on her thin cheeks. I remembered strawberry milkshakes are your favorite. Yes, thank you, son. She's not drinking much of the milkshake. Instead, her eyes are laser focused on her adult children. How's my garden doing? Well, not as good as when you're taking care of it, Mom. It misses you. We miss you. Drink your milkshake, Mom. You really do look good, Mom. I hurry back out of the building to the cottage and call my son. William, let me tell you, you've got to hear this and understand this. I will not be confined to a wheelchair in a room, in a building. That's not living. I'm not going to just linger somewhere. Do you understand this? Please, please understand this. He says nothing as I rage on. Occasionally I detect an intake of breath, maybe a muffled sob. Finally, abruptly, I just hang up. Emotions and tears spent. But it comes to me how gracious, how mature, how hell of difficult it must have been for him to let me vent. It's not supposed to be like this. I'm the mom. I think about calling to apologize and say thank you, but I don't. A few days pass when I get an early morning text from him. The kids want to have another Zoom session, and this time Lucian goes first. Hi, Grandy. Oh God, he's so gorgeous. He and his sister, each with their daddy's large, expressive, dark, very dark brown eyes, a legacy of my son's biracial African-American heritage. You know, my love, on this Zoom screen, I can see how much you and your sister are beginning to look more and more alike. Oh, no. After some awkward queries, I hit the jackpot. Been doing any drawings lately? I'll be right back. And again, I watch in amazement as this young boy shows me a sketchbook of penciled images way beyond his years. Make-believe automobiles, airplanes with aeronautical design. I first recognized his stellar artistic talents just a year ago when he made at my request a drawing for Christmas morning for our holiday grandchildren's art display. His pencil drawing of a noble fir with shaded branches of fine needles and no ornaments stood out among the other typically colorful elementary school paintings. His was posted at the entrance to the show. My Lord. The next morning, William calls. Lucian wants to have another Zoom session today, and when I asked him why, he said, and I quote, "Because we only talked about me and my stuff and not about her and any of her stuff." Okay, well, I can tell him about grappling with the technology to conduct my first Zoom storytelling class. And you know how I hate this computer stuff and how I admire and envy you young people who just intuitively know how it all works. In July, in spite of numbing frustrations, I host a successful Zoom class. And after 4 months of separation, it is thrilling to reconnect with storytelling friends and be part of their creativity. Meanwhile, Fancy, bugged by my being on the computer all the time, gently nudges my office chair, but only occasionally. She seems to comprehend how important this is to me. Mostly, she keeps her aging complaints to herself until she can't. Arthritis worsens. On walks, at times, she simply stops. With cajoling and gentle back massages, she holds her head high and begins again attempting her usual canter. She's rarely eating now, even people food. Peanut butter, her favorite, and that damn cough is back. Okay, my doodle girl, I get it. You've been so patient through these crazy months. I remember that fierce coughing spasm you had when the move was just getting underway. My realtor, Danya, called about a promising young couple who wanted to see the house like within a couple hours. Our place was in shambles. Piles everywhere, to pack, to sort, to toss, to give away. Now, maybe I could get a little money from these. And then you went into a spasm with this cough. The vet said it could be a heart cough and should be tested. I pushed away the piles, got down on the floor, cradled your face in my hands, and looked directly into your beautiful eyes. Fancy, you cannot leave me now. Because when you do, I will crash and burn, and I don't have time for that right now. And you stopped coughing. And thereafter, all I'd have to do is just give you a look. And you'd try very hard to just muffle it. You've stayed with me through all the moving upheaval and transitions. You managed adjusting to life with no backyard to play ball and run free. The condensed space of our small cottage without the blue couch, or the dining room table that opened up to fit everyone for celebrations, where you would get so excited with your whoa, 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 whoa. I'm sure you wondered what happened to all of our neighbors, because here, well, they were just strangers, old folks like us. But on our frequent walks, you made people smile. And charmed by your exuberant readings, we made new friends. An old ex-contrary ex-Marine fellow called you his therapy dog. And thank God you were here on March 11th, when I came home from my last day of storytelling at Stagebridge after 24 years as a student, teaching seniors and kids in the schools. You recognized my heartache and stayed especially close as we watched CNN report the pandemic is official. Together, we've grown weary of our isolation with no friends, no family, no kids coming to visit. We don't go anywhere. Remember how excited you were when I brought your wool blanket in from the car, and how dejected when I said, no, baby, no more rides. Through all these wrenching changes, you've stayed with me, my comfort and my joy. But now, it takes 14 phone calls to find a willing mobile veterinarian in this time of COVID. Early on the morning of August 7th, Dr. William Martin comes to our cottage. A visitor. Fancy is thrilled. We sit down on our small porch, he on a wide stool, me on the edge of the rocking chair, Fancy happily moving between us, swishing her long tail. Preparing syringes, he asks, how old is she? 1 week from being 13 and a half. An exceptional age for such a large dog. Yeah, and I've had her since she was 3 months old. She was so small then. Her birthday, is February 14th, Valentine's Day. And I always thought that was one of the reasons why she's such a lover. And I think if I just keep talking, I'm going to seduce her now. Please hold her head. At the needle's prick, Fancy flinches. But instead of jerking in anger, she freezes with a questioning, wounded look. Her beautiful eyes lock on mine. We've always had this amazing eye contact. She moves closer and places her large head on my lap. Soon her front legs begin to buckle, but she keeps reasserting her head back onto my lap until Dr. Martin says, you must help her lay down now before she falls. One more shot, and then I witness this stunning, instant passage from her being so full of a loving life to possessing no life at all. So now it's time to crash and burn. Unspeakable grief, accentuated by this bastard COVID, stealing lives, jobs, savings accounts, housing, food, political rancor, the capital insurrection. But as the world turns, good things happen. Vaccines are in the works. I get my first one on Monday. The inauguration, hallelujah. A commander-in-chief with a glass-shattering vice president, a woman, a multiracial Black woman, cabinet nominations, capable men and women of goodwill who reflect the rich diversity of our country and my family. My racial children, William and Allie, my racial biological daughter, Kimberly, my 6 African-American stepchildren, Marche, John Jr., Harvey, Stephanie, Terry, and Daryl. Their mates, children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren. 54 of us at last count. 2020 protest marches took me back to the 60s, meeting that man who became my husband and the father of my children, John Nathan Haynes, at that time a young, brash corporate executive, always dressed in a 3-piece suit, Black and proud. But different from the 60s, there's a new racial reckoning now. It's worldwide. All ethnicities, straight, gay, old, and young, like my granddaughter, Amelia Grace Gordon. I treasure the photo Allie texted me of her only child at age 14, on the steps of Alameda City Hall addressing a protest group. Amelia, a striking redhead with massive pearls, tall, confident, with a microphone, telling a personal story, standing up, speaking out, hope. Poet Emily Dickinson defines hope as a thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Oh, Jeannie, that's so touching.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry to hear about Fancy. We've been on some walks together.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's such a great story. It's such a great night. And I just want to thank the marsh. You know, the tip jar is what's keeping the marsh alive. And I just want to remind you, I saw that in the chat there, that if you can swing some money that way, it goes a long way to making these stories out in the world. I'm not looking at the camera. These things out in the world. Anyway, so I just really thank you so much, Carol and Jeannie, for your beautiful stories. They're just fun and moving and just life affirming.
Good.
Beautiful work. And thanks to our Marsh staff for assisting us, Kristen and Brianna. Thank you for all of your help in making this smooth.
Carol and Jeannie, before we end, did you have anything you wanted to say? What's up for you next?
Oh, wow. I'm speechless. This story, when you do one of this size and write it, and it's so big, and you cut and you cut and you cut, and you no, I have to say that. Then you add some more. No, that's too big. It's good to have done it. I appreciate the opportunity of telling it. So I'm going to put it away for a while, but then, you know, with we storytellers, there'll always be more to come.
Thank you. Carol, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank you guys and thank all of my friends that came tonight, but I especially want to give a shout out to Charlie Varon.
Yeah.
I can almost cry just saying it, because without him, I wouldn't be here tonight. I've got the stories, but he has helped me so much to realize them. And there's going to be lots more.
Well, then I too thank you for bringing up our teachers. David Ford, oh my God, he's amazing. He's really amazing. Thank you, David. Mwah.
So work is still happening in the world, folks. So work is here. It's being celebrated. It's being encouraged and growing still at the Marsh. And so we're thankful. And with that, I think we can wrap up the night. Bridget, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, we'll be back next month at the end of the month. I don't know what the date is, but we will send out an announcement. It's the 23rd of February.
The last Tuesday.
Yeah, if you have a story that you want to work on and put up on Tell It on Tuesday, let us know. We're always looking for people who are looking for this kind of experience. And yeah, come back and see us again next month.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Carol
and Jeannie.
Thanks so much, Bridget and Rebecca and Carol and Jeannie, and to Stagebridge, who has been a partner of the Marsh for years. And also just wanted to let you know that if you are interested in classes with David Ford or Charlie Varon, these are, you can find these on our website. They're offered every quarter, and it's a great opportunity to take an idea that you've had and a story that you have and bring it to the stage. So we hope that you'll do that, and we hope you'll join us again on Tell It on Tuesday. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye, Kristen.
Thank you.
Great.
How do I describe my journey with
your mother, who takes care of you, who takes you to the doctor when you're sick. Your mother.
Good morning, New York. Buenos dias. It's me. What's up?
We went out for lunch at a sushi place where she tried sushi for the first time and she liked it.
I see that change can happen. I know things can shift and change for good.
I am dizzily dazzled with stars in my eyes.
Same level as I broke my neck. But he's not getting the same return of function I am.
And I don't want any of your smart aleck sex talk that I usually get when I get.
This is beyond the marsh because what you're doing is planting beautiful seeds for artists to grow.